Grab all they got.
Grab all the rum. All the rum. Why is the rum gone?
Because Tim bought
It's
it all.
not gone yet, and we bought it all. So, Andrew, I need you to clap for me. Good spike. All right. This is episode 38. Was that what it was? 38,
I have
yeah.
no
That's what it
idea.
is. All right, cool. All right.
We're nearing the 40th anniversary.
Well,
That's how that works.
Hi, welcome to episode 38. I'm Tim Abbott, and with me is Andrew Smith,
Hello.
Chris Mason,
Hello.
and Agent M.
Hello.
Bert is not here, so one day all five of us will be back together again. It's only been
Maybe.
2 years, so I don't know. So right now we'll probably just talk about what we've been playing. Since it's been a couple months. And
The question
then,
on everybody's mind is, has Andrew beat Gears 3 yet?
I beat Gears 3 a long time ago. It was Gears 4.
Is it Gears 4 that we were talking
I did beat it. It was a long time ago, though. That was before Gears.
I haven't even played Gears
How
5.
many? That was before Gears 5 came out. I remember the. I don't think I want to spoil it, really. I mean,
Gears 4?
I fought a big
like,
thing.
4, everyone
I
here
fought a
beat
big
4.
spider thing. Well, not really a spider thing, but whatever.
I know what
it
you're
was.
talking about.
I fought a thing, and I was like, right when I stopped is like the mission right before fighting that is when I stopped. But yes, I did beat it, and I don't remember it very well. But
So he did beat it. So there you go.
I
2
know-
years later, he did beat the thing. All right, cool. So yeah, we'll just talk about what we've been playing then.
well, we've been playing for the past 2
2
years.
years.
Yeah, well, at least you, yeah. We at least talked a couple
did
months ago and
connect
went through that.
a while back, and we
Yeah.
went through our 2 years of gameplay then. So,
So yeah, so we're there, for the most part. So the latest thing for me, since I'll go first, since I'm pretty easy, I went back to Warzone. Basically, I had taken a little bit of a break. New map came out, so we started playing that a little bit. Didn't like the new map too much. But then we went back to, so we've been playing a lot of Rebirth, which is Alcatraz Island, where there's no gulag. You just come back over and over again as long as one of your teammates are, as long as somebody on your team is alive, you come back.
Like the rebirth countdown thing on
Yeah. So it's a lot more fast paced, and some games you'll have like you go on runs, other times you get wiped right away, and you're like, oh cool. And there's like one set of houses that we continue to land at, like just so we know our area and stuff along those lines. Sometimes no one lands with us. Other times like 3 teams are landing with us, and we're like, why are you here? This is not a normal landing spot for anyone. It's just they're here. And then it's like, cool, we're landing with a little bit of a pistol. And I open a chest, cool, combat shotgun. This is not going to go well. And then they find some orange weapon and freaking melt me. So we've been doing that. We've had some runs. I did have a game the other night where I had 17 kills, and I didn't know I was that high until right near the end. And we still only came in like 6, and I had 17. Like Jake had 9, and then it was like 3 and 1 or something along those lines. But it was funny because Jake, after he was dead and he couldn't come back, he just goes, "Well, no wonder Tim's quiet. He's at 15 kills." And I was like, "Yeah, I was focused." So I have a tendency to do that when I'm playing with them and stuff. If I'm not talking, it's usually I'm just really focused.
Busy.
But we've been having fun doing that. So that's basically what we've been doing. Just trying new weapons, learn new tactics, and new ways of playing the game and stuff. Because Caldera's been meh. We're waiting for them to bring back Verdansk and do something like. I mean, they've stolen other ideas from Apex, so we're kind of hoping they steal the idea of map rotation. So Apex has their new maps, but they rotate like every hour. The map will change. So we're kind of hoping maybe they'll think of that idea too and bring Verdansk back, and then just rotate as we go through.
Yeah, when I played that last map, that one time I played with you, is like that map is not impressive at all. It's just kind of like open, and there's nothing really interesting about it. It's just a bunch of palm trees.
Yeah, it feels very like a PUBG map. That much.
Yeah.
And we did play PUBG.
Oh, really? How was that?
One time, like a while ago, because Dunk and Travis wanted to play it. And Dunk's computer crashed. And so
Of course it did.
So then it was me and Trav, and We have some good moments stuff, but the thing with that one right now is because we always play in TPP.
Mm-hmm.
So, and TPP on North American servers is not very popular. And so they only have like quads. And
so they
that's
have a lot
it.
of bots.
So we have bots, but it's also we just have playing quads. So if like it's just me and Trav, we don't do duo fill, right? We're not doing fills. So it's the two of us going against like a team of 4.
Yeah.
And we had some good runs. I did squad wipe a team. That was pretty funny.
Nice.
Because I sniped the guy on the roof, and then we pushed them on this building, and the other guy ended up being on the stairs. I downed him after he downed Travis, and then we had no idea where the other two for their team was. And so, like, as I'm rezzing Trav, I hear a Jeep coming.
Oh.
And I turn, like, look as I'm rezzing him, and I could see it coming over the hill. And I was like, if they come flying in here, like, I can't, there's something I can do. And they ended up not coming in right away. And so, like, I thirst the guy on the stairs. We go to the stop. I get the guy at the top, and I'm just hiding behind the one, and the other two just run out blindly, and I melt them. And it was like, okay, thanks, guys. But that game went free to play.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, back in like December, I think.
Wasn't PUBG always free to play?
No, you did have to pay for that on
Like
Xbox and stuff.
20
Yeah,
bucks,
it was like
that.
30, I think, on Xbox and stuff along those lines. But it was $30, I think.
No, maybe it's because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why. I was like, I never played it, but they never paid for it, but I played it.
yeah, it went to Game Pass. So I think maybe I might have bought it for you for Christmas or something along those lines.
Maybe. Like I said, I know I can play
When
it.
it first came to Xbox, you played it with us.
Yeah.
And I think I might have bought it for you because I was just obsessed with PUBG, and I was like, I want everyone
For
to
a
play.
little while, yeah, you were.
Yeah, just a little
Yeah,
bit.
Just
we
a little
were.
bit.
We were.
Just a smidge. And so we,
Oh, we've been
but
playing
yeah,
it
but the
before.
one nice thing that's kind of neat about the free-to-play stuff for that is it still runs well. Like, it runs fine now, like frame rate-wise and all
Yeah.
sort of stuff and everything.
It runs a lot
did-
On
well.
Xbox,
on
not on
Xbox.
Xbox, I don't know how it runs on Xbox. But on PC, I think it runs fine.
It's a little different.
The guns and stuff feel fine and stuff along those lines. The biggest thing is that with it going free to play, they did add a mode that I really appreciate, which I think a lot of the other BRs should implement and stuff along those lines, is for people that are like learning how to play, they give you like 3 games where they'll drop you in where of the 100 players, 88 of them are bots and the other 12 are real.
Oh, okay.
So it gives you a chance to run around, figure out how to loot, figure out how the maps work, figure out how guns shoot.
How
And if you get in a
movement
fight with a
goes.
bot, like the bot's
I mean, I learned
basically
more
not going
from
to kill
Viva
you.
La Dirt League than anything.
Yeah. But it's like like the idea of how to loot, how to work the mechanics and stuff along those lines. It was actually like kind of nice. Like a way, like when we first came back, we haven't played in a while, so I was like trying to remember what my keybinds were and like what buttons to press and stuff along those lines. And did Dunk crash in the middle of that game? Yes. Did we still go on to win it? Yes. Because again, there were only 12 real people, and they had died earlier on their fights and stuff, so we ended up winning the game. But I thought it was a really cool like mechanic as far as like teaching how to play instead of like
people in.
you know with a lot of the other BRs it was really just like here figure it out. And this was a nice way of like ease you in, because especially with PUBG, like the ones that would still be around for PUBG are the ones that have been playing it for years
Sweats.
and are going to smoke you if
Yeah.
you're brand new.
Yeah.
So it was probably a nice way of like introducing new people to the game, how it works without having it like them get frustrated because they get squad wiped by somebody who's been playing it for 3 years.
Yeah. They pick up one gun, and all of a sudden the whole squad
Yeah.
with everything comes up on them.
Yeah,
It's
like
so much fun.
yeah, Chris is well aware of that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. So, do we want to do Andrew or do we want to do Chris? And,
Doesn't matter to me.
Of course, it's to Andrew.
Andrew, since you haven't been in 2 years, what have you been playing?
Well, for the past 2 years, I've been trying. Well, Cyberpunk, that was okay. But
I was
really,
disappointed in that. I have it, and it may be one of those games that I have not gotten far enough in to give it its due. But I just every time I try to start playing it, it's like I don't know what it is. I can't get
he's
into it.
not into the Cyberpunk setting. Maybe
It might be what it is.
that's the only thing I really like about it. Like,
I think it's because I just haven't gotten in far enough yet. Because that's what happened with me in the original Halo. Like I was 2 years after Halo first came out when everybody was talking about it. I was like, I couldn't. I just didn't get far enough into it where it opened up enough. I'm like, oh, where I can appreciate the gameplay now. It was just like I think that's what it is. And then, of course, other games come out and you get playing something else. So that's one I have not gone back to.
I like it a lot, mainly because of the setting. The RPG side of it There's a lot you can do there, but to me the weapon variation isn't that big. I mean, sure you can get like more higher level weapons and stuff like that, but like variety of weapons kind of low for what I like to see. But like, of course, there's a bunch of stats and stuff you can play with, perks and stuff, and skill trees and stuff. But I haven't beaten that, but because a quest crashed on me, I couldn't really complete it. But other than that, the most recent thing is Elden Ring. I like it a lot, mainly because I really like the world that they created. It's very open. It's very vertical. Everything every building, cliff you see, you can go to it. The creature design is really cool.
If you had to compare it to another game, what would it be?
It's gonna be Demon Souls and Dark Souls and.
Well, it's gonna have that on there, but like
that's who made those games. So.
Yeah, but the open world, like, it really kind of reminded me of like I don't know if you played Breath of the Wild, Zelda.
I have not, no.
But it's just like the sense of like I can go anywhere and like just mess around with anything.
But does it give you like a direction, like?
It's your little save points that you have throughout the game. It'll have like a little. It's called like your grace. Yeah, it's your grace. Like it's the bonfires or whatever. It'll have like a little trail of light pointing you in a direction. That game, for some people, I'm sure could like tell you what to do better. You just kind of have to like talk to NPCs and just kind of like kill things, and eventually you can go on and you'll progress the story or whatever. But of course, that's what some people like they have to figure it out and they have to like read all the text because every single item has like a big like lore dump of whatever that thing is. But the main thing I like about it is like the whole like build and like stats. You can make whatever kind of character. You can use magic, half magic all the time. You can. Right now I'm dual wielding great swords and just
Sounds like Fable.
I mean, with the how do you think it sounds like Fable?
Just like being able to create that own kit to your character.
Oh yeah, you can. Any kind of like you can play with all sorts of numbers and just weapons. Like you find a new weapon, it's like, ooh, I want to like invest points into that so I can start wielding that weapon better. But I don't know. That's the main thing that's kind of like been absorbing me a lot, and mainly is just running around on the horse, just like looking. It's like, ooh, I want to go there. And when eventually I do run into a boss, it's like really hard. It's like, okay, this guy is really tough. I can just go somewhere else and start exploring. But yeah, it can be hard at times though. but I'm really liking it.
That's cool. I did think of another game because I just looked up when the last time we played. So I definitely played Halo Infinite.
Has the campaign been released yet?
Yeah, the campaign got released, but it's not co-op.
Okay, that's what it was.
And it's
I'm waiting for the co-op for me.
I'm waiting for co-op because I haven't played it. Like the co-op, I played the first like mission of the campaign, which was interesting.
I haven't downloaded, but
what do you think about the Halo live action?
I'm kind of excited for that. I think it's gonna be weird when they show his face because they did say they're going to show his face. The trailer looked cool and stuff along those lines. I'm interested to see like what it's like and stuff along those lines. But as far as the game itself, kind of thing, I did really. It was funny when that game, like some games like when they're crossplay with the PC and Xbox and all sort of stuff and everything, right? There's always like mouses have a kind of thing, then have an advantage, or then controllers have an advantage, like kind of thing with their aim assist and stuff along those lines. In Xbox, if you are not, or in Halo, if you are not on a controller, you are screwed.
I noticed that when I played because I played like a couple days after the free.
Oh, I tried it with a mouse and keyboard. One, it felt weird, and then I was like,
Yeah.
I can't hit a shot. And this dude, like, because when you get in a gunfight in Halo, it's always a strafe.
Mm-hmm.
And on a mouse, that's freaking impossible to track somebody. And that precise, whereas their controller just locks on kind of thing. So I went to a controller, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, this feels way better. And of course, I'm hitting, like, the first time when I went to it, I was hitting, like, muscle memory stuff. And I was like, that is not, okay, this is supposed to be grenade.
Yeah.
All right.
I just had to go
which control is that? Which control scheme is that? This one is what I'm used to using. Okay, we're going to go back to using that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to use bumper jumper.
Multiplayer was fun. It's really well done. But it is one of those where it's like, from playing the BR games and stuff along those lines, and I can play it for like an hour and a half, and then I'm like, I'm good. And then I start getting frustrated. and then I just go, all right, I'm done. And I haven't played in months, and I know that frustrates Zoom. Sorry, Zoom, because she loves it, and she loves Halo and stuff along those lines. And yeah, I just when I go to think of playing something like Warzone, it's just more interactive and fun to me. So we try it and stuff along those lines, but it's fine. I do need to pick that back up though. But other than that, that's what I was playing. So anyways, I just thought I'd bring that back up because that was the other thing. I was like one of those where I was like, I think of them.
I played other video games before.
I did play something else. What was I playing? Because right now it's just been Rebirth, and that's all we've been playing. So, all right.
I just have one more game.
Okay.
It's just the only like multiplayer game because you remember. Well, Josh really likes that game. He had bought a gaming PC a while ago, and would play Hunt Showdown with him a lot. I really like Hunt Showdown a lot. That's probably my favorite multiplayer game right now.
I have it downloaded. Or I own it. Like I bought it years ago.
Oh, really?
But I bought it when it first came out and stuff along those lines, and I could not get it to run properly.
Really?
And then when I went to play it again with Dunk, like he couldn't get it to load right, and so we just couldn't get into a game together.
Oh, really?
And so we were just like, and then I haven't been back.
If you want to try out, I mean, I'm not an expert in that game because like I'm usually like.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, what am I setting up? What am I doing?
Yeah.
So, if you want to try that one time, we can do that.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Because that's fun, hunting down monsters and then having other players come in and try to take that too. But yeah, I like that game a lot.
Okay. Agent M, what have you been playing?
You never go to me before you go to Chris.
That's why we're changing it up.
Well, most recently, we've been playing Rainbow Six Extraction.
Okay, the new Rainbow Six one, yeah.
So that just came out.
That feels like a very game you guys would play.
Yes.
Three people PVE, but it does scale for 2 people, and if you can do solo, it will scale for that too.
And since we don't have 3 people, it is pretty much me and Chris playing.
They don't do crossplay for that, do they? I don't think they.
I have no clue. I forgot.
That I don't know. I know it was day 1 edition for Game Pass. I don't know if it's crossplay.
And so we've been playing a lot of that, and I didn't think I would like it because there's
I had to talk her into it.
The health doesn't regenerate.
It is a completely different game than what we're used to.
I mean, we've played a lot of shooters. I mean, but we've always had the auto-regenerating health. And when your character dies, your character's MIA. You got to go back and get them. Because they're gone. It does? That's what I thought I remembered seeing.
It is a very frustrating but unique game. Like, if you watch the trailer for it, every mission, it varies. The mission objectives, where you drop in and out, where the objectives are, and the enemies, like, spawn points. Like, it's never the same game twice. Like, it promotes that. Like, every time you go in, it's a unique experience. And it's true. And there are different objectives where sometimes you're sneaky, sometimes you're not sneaky.
Well, no, we really should always be sneaky.
We should always be sneaky, but you've got, like, tons of operatives. Everybody has their own unique ability, so you have to pick. Like, we have like a 90-second, 120-second countdown once you start the missions, and it tells you, okay, you got these 3 objectives. And it's like the Division, like, you can do the first objective, then you move to the second one, or you can extract. If you do the second one, you get more experience. Then you can move to the third one again, or extract whenever you want. But it gets more difficult, and you see what your objectives are. So then when you have to pick your equipment, like if you want claymores, or if you want stealthy stuff, or stuff like that. So we change it up quite often. Like, you have to pick which characters you're going to use.
Yeah, and there was a couple of times we've played where we had like 5 people MIA, and I was like, what happens if we've lost every character? Because there was a real possibility that night.
So the person, like your class or whatever, goes missing.
Yeah, so you got like a character that has like a gun. It has Ella has regenerating mines that do stun damage. Like, okay, that's her ability, and then she's got a particular gun and a sidearm. Like, that's who you have. And as you upgrade her, she gets different guns. So some of the abilities upgrade, and then her unique ability gets upgraded from 1 to level 10. So she's getting experience. But
if you die, she goes MIA, and you cannot use her again.
Then you have to
until you go back, and there is a new objective now, and the
Your
objective is to rescue your MIA. And so it'll tell you that you currently have 3 MIAs at this location or 2 at this location. And so that becomes one of your next objectives is to go back and get, and if you die trying to go get back your MIA, then you've got 2 MIAs. And that's what happened to us one night is we ended up with like 5 MIAs.
It was getting bad.
And we were like, okay, we're about to
So we're down to
like,
the characters that have abilities that we're like, oh, I don't really care about this ability. Like
we're just going to use this guy, and if he dies, he dies, but I just need somebody. And you lose experience as you lose your characters. So I went backwards
it's like gears.
in progression.
It will backtrack you all the way. And then once you get that experience back, if you eventually get them, but like you get more equipment if you upgrade your milestones, like your total experience, you get more equipment and stuff for everybody to use. But you lose experience as you do that.
And you only gain health by completing objectives. So, like, you get hurt and you don't die, but they've only got 5 health. And then the next time we play, we only do 1 objective, so I only get 9 health. So it's going to take...
They're now up to 14.
Yeah, so it's going to take, like, 8 games before my character...
so you literally can't heal.
No, there's health... Med kits are temporary
but they're
health.
Boost.
So all it does is give you something.
But it's a blue on the bar. And it will continuously count down from 65 to wherever it is.
And it goes down the whole time. So you've got your base health, which is 100. And then you can boost up as much as you find it effect. And there's several times you get hit at the very beginning and you're doing the whole rest of the mission with 5 health.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, give me a med kit the second you have it. And by the time we finish it, I'm back down to 5. And then you have to play like 8 or 9 games to get enough HP that you can bring your character back, unless you do more objectives, then you get more HP.
Or higher difficulty. Again, all that, it's the gamble you want to play, which again makes it unique. The gamble is worth it.
Sounds unique,
yeah. And the hard part is, with just the 2 of us,
we tend to be on the lower difficulties
because it's really difficult to do the higher difficulty. The game is designed for 3 people, and it's a 15-minute time limit. So we ran out of time one night and we died.
But it does scale. So
it does, but again, it is.
Says like you got to, if it's 3 of us, it says like you got to get 7 of this item or like nests that you have to kill. We noticed like if it's us, it's just 5. If it's I've noticed I tried 1 or 2 solo missions myself. It was 3.
Yeah.
It scales.
It's just the
down
problem is that the time limit.
But each section is 15 minutes. Like all you have, there's no gaining it. It's 15 minutes. So we've figured out okay. Like this objective is defend these 3 spots. Well, it takes 2 minutes once you start it. I'm like, okay, per spots, that's 6 minutes. That you have to do. And like, once to get the 5-minute counter, I'm like, well, there's no way we could finish this.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, and you can also, which we haven't done a whole lot of this, but like you have the option. Like you don't have to. Like once we're in the next zone, we can exfil right now, or we could just skip this and just go to the next zone. Like you can do that. It's your choice. Like you just won't get the experience for completing objective 2. But if we completed objective 3, we get more experience. So it depends on what you want. It kind of it'll randomize what they are. So like we know if there's an MIA that one of the 3 objectives is going to be retrieve the MIA. But it could be the first one, it could be the second one, it could be the third one. It just depends. It's completely different every time you play.
And I will say, when he first showed me the video, I hated the idea. And the first few times we played, I hated it.
I did.
Because of really losing a character. I legitimately have lost this character.
It was almost
now.
fun to hear how frustrated she got. Because she was mad.
I was angry.
She was just mad. Because you could hear her. She just, you know what? This is just ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to, she was just mad. Because it's stuff that's like literally like the tickers in Gears. There's an enemy that's exactly like a freaking ticker. It's just going to run up to you and explode. And if you shoot it, it's going to explode. Unless you shoot it like in its legs or its head. And it's like, but it's like it's one of the quickest enemies and it's running around. Well, if that thing runs up to you and blows you up, 50 health, gone. Like that. Like literally just like that. So we've started missions, walked out, and it's been right behind the door, and we're like, shit.
And then we turn right around and we exfil right
it's
then.
Like,
we're like,
I was like, done.
Done.
And sometimes it's just because I'm just mad. Because it's just like, you know what? No. We're not starting off this way. Screw this. I'll pick a different character. But again, if you only do 1 or 2 objectives, I'm only getting 6 to 15 health. And once they're at 50, you can't use them unless they're at 50 health. They're not MA. What are they called? Inactive. Once they're at 50 health, you can use them, but you're only going to start with 50 health. Now, like we've tried some of the higher difficulties because we've gotten a little bit better at it. And depending on the night, you know, we've gotten a little bit better. We've done the second difficulty in all 3 objectives. It's just we have found like certain objectives. It's just like they're frustrating.
We did get Brett installed it. He downloaded it, and so he joined us. He's joined us twice. So we finally got to see what it was like to have a third person play with us, which was interesting.
And it makes a big difference on the play styles. Like she tends to be the healer, the scanner,
Surprise.
there's bad guys out everywhere, and before she puts the scanner away, I've done killed like 7 of them.
I know.
Because I'm following, like she'll have a little drone.
I'm using the drone to scan.
And I see where they're off, so I'm following her drone, and I'm like, you, and I'm like, because it's like gears, like you can go behind somebody, you get the stealth kill, it's an instant kill. Otherwise, it takes a lot of ammo. But it's things like, there are certain walls that you can see through the UV light that you have, and you get to see their outline. And it shows like their red spots are their weak spots. So I have a pistol. I'm like, one shot through this wall, boom, headshot,
he
done.
is dead eye with his pistol.
Yeah, no sight on it. I'm like, but if I can get that one
accurate.
shot, I'm like, I don't have to deal with them. But
legitimately, by the time I put the drone away, he's killed half the freaking enemies. And so he has leveled up like way more than me. Because at the end, when we does the experience, it's based off of how many kills you had and stuff. And so Chris will be like 3,000 experience more than me because he's done all the killing. And I'm like, I'm just your assistant at this point.
I'm like, hey, there's a nest over there. Go ahead, help yourself.
Yeah, Chris, he'll literally go around. He'll like, all right, you can go kill that one.
The other aspect of the game is like, when we're talking about trying to be stealthy, is because, again, if they are alerted and they see you, they howl. This is every enemy. If an enemy sees you and actually has laid eyes on you, it will howl. And then you see this big puff of smoke like go out. Well, anything in that range of puff of smoke is now alerted that you are there, and they're coming for you. And there are these nests that continuously, till you kill it, pump out enemies. But you have no idea where the nests are. Sometimes they're in the ceiling, sometimes they're on the wall, they're behind walls. So it could be their howl goes through the other side of that wall right there. Well, we can't see on the other side of the wall, but there's a nest. Well, now it's active, so it's continuously pumping out enemies. So we're like, okay, they're not stopping. I'm like, there's an active nest somewhere over there, so we got to make a run forward, just barrel through and try to find the nest, because they have, what's it called, sprawl, which is like like a little black vine that they grow on. It starts to spread. When it starts spreading out and you see it spreading on the walls, it means, okay, somebody somewhere has an active nest. But when you run through that, you're slowed down. So again, it has all these different things.
Like running through mud.
Yeah, it slows you down, so you can't outrun anybody. Now, you can shoot the floor and it goes away, but it's like, shoot the floor, shoot the 7 bad guys that are chasing me. It's like, you know, you try to throw a mine or a bomb behind you. I mean, like I said, there's so many different things like you have to take into consideration.
If you're ever interested in checking it out, since it's
free on Game Pass.
Yeah, I'll download and install it.
Yeah, because it would be interesting just to try it out.
I would be able to try Monday night. Potentially. I don't know when you guys play. I know you work Mondays still, right?
Mondays, but Terry has scouts from now 6:30 to 7:30, so I should be on by like 8:30 or 9.
On Monday night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zoom has bowling, so usually I don't end up playing anything on Monday, so I would be available.
Okay, that would be cool to try it out.
Yeah, it's been one of our most, like she said, it's a shooter, but it's refreshing to have something different on a shooter.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the big thing. We also did Far Cry 6. We got that for Christmas, and
that is the definition of the cookie cutter shooter. If you've played Far Cry 5,
if you played Far Cry 4, you played Far Cry 6.
If you played Far Cry 3.
Or Far Cry 3.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I like Far Cry, but it's a little bit
so
monotonous.
I got one on sale, and it was
so repetitive. I've tried. I want to like it so much because I like Far Cry.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
So for that one, can you do the campaign co-op?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't know if Andrew, if you remember when we did Far Cry 4,
yeah,
yes,
and we couldn't do the co-op. We couldn't do the
story
missions co-op. The story missions couldn't be done co-op.
Right.
So Andrew and I literally cleared
everything
we could, and I couldn't unlock the second half of the island.
One. Yeah. 5 hands down was the best one, and then they had New Dawn, which was surprisingly good considering that almost should have been a DLC, and being a standalone sequel, it actually was surprisingly good.
But Far Cry 6 is you can play co-op for everything, including the campaign.
But you won't want to. You won't.
It's nothing wrong with it, except it's just like every other Far Cry game, and it's
just fine.
I'm like 27 hours into it, and it's just like like you say, every other Far Cry. There's like, hey, there's 3-4 regions. You're going to go weaken all the regions, to beat the region to get your ultimate baddie.
Clear out the outposts.
But it's literally clear out the outposts, clear out the anti-aircraft gun, and then clear out the bases. Like that's it. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Then you have the story missions are actually kind of fun because they're different. But I've sat there for hours just trying to, okay, I'll go from here to here, then here to here, then here to here. And it's just so flippin' many. And it's like, it's fun because lots of different guns. There's a lot more arsenal of guns that do different things in this game. So that's kind of fun. Got different things. You can upgrade the guns better in this game. There's some crazy guns, crazy upgrades. There's the companions are always kind of fun. But like it's got one of the best companions in the game. You literally can take this companion and clear out an entire base. Like, you literally can clear out a whole base and never touch somebody because they're a stealth panther. Unless
they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, they pretty are. Like, it's, I'm gonna beat it, and it's so cookie cutter.
We'll continue to play it together.
Well,
but
and the DLC for it is you get to play the memory of previous Far Cry games. You get to play Pagan Men, Joseph Seed, and then the Voss, the guy from 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like their mind, their mission, a mission with them, like why they were such a bad guy, like a mission while you're playing. I'm like, I played those games. I don't need. I played an entire game where I hated that person. Why do I want to play as that person?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never hated a bad guy more than I hated Joseph Seed. I'm like, if you play that whole campaign, I'm like, the things that he did, I've never hated a video game character that much.
Maybe
like
Handsome Jack.
No.
I would put Handsome Jack.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Like, Handsome Jack didn't kill babies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, that's
Joseph Seed was one of the worst.
One of the worst bad guys ever. I'm like, now you want me to play as him? I'm like, congratulations.
Face is getting all red.
I hated him, but I'm like, that's what made Far Cry 5 so good. Like, you were so into the story. I kind of forgot how repetitive it could be, but it still had much of a story. This is, a dictator that has a country under siege. Boy, I hadn't heard this before.
Yeah.
Again, nothing wrong with it. It's Far Cry, and we like Far Cry, and we'll play it. That's what made Rainbow Six so attractive, is because we were getting a little tired of Far Cry because it was so repetitive and monotonous. And then to switch over to Rainbow Six, and it's like, wow, this is completely different than anything. Whereas Far Cry 6 is exactly the same as every other Far Cry game. So it was nice to switch to something else. The only other things that we played were, of course, continue with Outbreak and Zombies. That will always be something. They're not releasing any more content for it on
which was
Cold
disappointing.
War,
we kind of veered away from that.
But we are definitely still going back and playing that. I got Tales of Arise for Christmas, and that's one that I want to get into because I'm into the Tales games. So Chris gave me Tales of Arise, and I started that one. That one looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be really good. And it's not one of those where you have to have played like all of the sequels because they're all standalone games. There's a few that are direct sequels. And I've got most of them: Tales of Xillia, Tales of Bersaria, Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Graces. So I like the Tales series. And then, of course, Octopath Traveler, I did beat that. I did not beat the final dungeon, but I will call the game beaten because screw the final dungeon. If anyone has ever played Octopath Traveler, that game I put over 115 hours into.
Oh, wow.
And technically, I beat the story for every one of the 8 characters. But then the final hidden dungeon is no save points, and you have to fight a phantom version of each of the final bosses again. Then you go fight the final boss, who's in multiple forms. And I made it to them, and I played the final boss for 2 hours.
Nope.
And never made it to its second form.
Almost sounds like Elden Ring sometimes.
And then I died, my whole party, in one attack. My whole party got wiped out with one
it's fun
attack.
getting that text. You know what? Screw this game. I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I sent. I said, that's it. I'm calling it. I mean, the storyline-wise, I had completed everything. If there is a little cutscene that plays at the end of beating that, I'll go look it up online. Because at that point, I had already... I had invested 3.5 hours into that, and there's no save points at any point in that final dungeon.
Yeah.
So, and that one fight, I had spent 2 hours, and he didn't even make it to his second form yet. And then one attack killed me. I was like, screw it, I'm done. I'm calling it done. So,
The game's pretty though.
yes.
Because I had it for the Switch. I play a little bit of it, but
Yeah, I like the game. I like the scenery and the music too. It's a nice soundtrack. It reminds me of old school RPGs, so it's I enjoyed it a lot. And then the only other thing was we did get Vanguard, and we played some Vanguard zombies.
I played Vanguard. I bought that too. Forgot about that. I just bought it literally like on a whim because someone was playing like on a Saturday night or something like that, and I was like, well, Vanessa's gone to sleep, so I'm just gonna. I need to do something. I was like, oh, I'm hearing about this PPSH is like way overpowered for Warzone. So I was like, it's on sale. So I bought it and just ran through Shipment and Dead House, like that 24/7 playlist. I was just running around with SMG just to level up that gun. And so it was just hours of like I had Bones playing on the one screen, watching Bones while listening to that, and the audio's down, and just running around Shipment and Dead House, leveling them guns.
I love Bones. It's a good show.
And then I also remembered that I bought a Switch. So I have a Switch.
You bought a Switch?
So we have a Switch, yes.
I'm curious what made you buy a Switch?
The LED one kind of, and just to have one kind of thing. It was just something for me and Vanessa to play together. So we did, so we played a little bit of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So we got that.
Mm-hmm.
And got Mario Kart for Christmas. So we've been playing Mario Kart. Fun. Never really played a Mario Kart game before. So.
Really?
Just never been around like Nintendo. Like.
That's true.
Like I went from Sega to PlayStation. Sega, yeah. And then once I was on PlayStation, I went to Xbox. So I never really was a Nintendo kid. I didn't have an N64. Like I've been around N64s. GameCube? Didn't have a GameCube.
Missed out.
Been around GameCube. Been around. Like I've known people that had it and some ones that played them, but I never.
It's funny. I was a Nintendo kid, and then I got my original PlayStation. Then I was PS1, PS2. PS2 was the dominant one. And it wasn't until the 360. I had an Xbox, but I won't say I didn't convert till the 360. Then the 360 took over. So it's like every stage of my life I was in a different system.
I got Ps5 2 weeks ago also.
Oh, there you go.
I managed to score one of those. I have Gran Turismo as well.
I got an Xbox Series X. I forgot about that too.
Can I just rant about? I had an old like Target gift card, so I ordered Gran Turismo 7 because that's one of the main reasons I wanted it. You put the disc in. I forgot about this, but you put the disc in, it'll download. It's like, oh, the game's ready to play. It's like, sweet, I'm ready to play Gran Turismo 7. Nope, you gotta wait to download the rest of the game. It's like, why that?
Yeah, why
did you just?
Why you tell me I could play?
So a lot of words I want to say right now, but I'll save Tim editing things. But that's BS. Those just download the game and let me play it when it's all done.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think the controller is pretty cool too. It's weird, like pulling the tray. Have you played with the PS5 controller?
I bought a PS5 a year ago when it.
Oh, you did?
When they first came out, I managed to get one because I wanted to play Miles Morales.
Did you play Astro's Playroom build download?
Yeah, that one's really fun. Yeah.
It's so weird, like when you're pulling the trigger of a controller, you're used to like a certain thing.
Yeah.
But there's like resistance and like a clickiness to it. It's really weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, they gyro and stuff along those lines and everything. So it's like when you're playing a normal game or something like that, like it feels like a normal trigger. But when the game's designed for the triggers, like there's feedback, like to the actual trigger.
There's like resistance
and stuff. So, but now I bought it mainly to play Miles Morales. So, did you play the Spider-Man game?
I haven't played the Spider-Man games yet.
You need to get the Spider-Man games.
Because one of the other main reasons I want to get a Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
But Elden Ring, that's going to wait till that's Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I want to get Horizon Forbidden West.
It's a really good game. It's really fun.
I loved Horizon Zero Dawn. I loved the first one.
I still need to beat that too.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the first game. But
the first one, I got the first one, and I beat that one 100%.
Oh, really? 100%? That game's really fun.
I loved it. So I'm interested in getting the sequel.
I've heard it works good on PS4, so...
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. And I think Chris has a lot of the same games that I said.
Very similar, because we play a lot. Go back to Halo Wars.
Well, yeah, there's always Halo Wars, and then we did play a little bit of Back 4 Blood for a short period of time.
I did beat Back 4 Blood too.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it, just like I couldn't get into Left 4 Dead, because it's the exact same thing as Left 4 Dead.
That was when we were getting frustrated with Warzone and stuff along those lines. So when Back 4 Blood came out, we just got that. So all of us, the 4 of us, were running through Back for Blood. And once we beat that in like a couple, like that week it came out, I was like, all right, that was fun. Uninstall.
Yeah. Well, there's supposed to be like an expansion they're coming out with. It's like soon, but it's like that's a little late for an expansion for that game.
Now, I haven't started playing it yet, but we're planning on getting Dying Light 2. But because we're pretty content with what we're playing right now, I'm very excited because I loved Dying Light, the first one. But I'm very excited to get the second one, so that'll be probably one between.
Did you hear about the stupid number of hours to beat that game is?
Yeah, it's like
well,
high.
That was like a funny thing is that was just a marketing thing. Like literally every single like thing you could do to like 100% the game.
Yeah, this is like 500 hours.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's a lot of hours.
That is.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of game.
That's the amount of hours I streamed all of last year. I haven't looked it up because doing taxes and being like I gotta report my Twitch income. All $200 I made. And like I looked it up and I was like, I streamed 536 hours in 2021. 2020 I streamed 1,036 hours. So a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Chris, you got any other thing?
I didn't play a whole lot else. Like I just started Octopath because I got after H&M talked about it. I was like, looking for a good RPG. I mentioned earlier that Chrono Cross is getting a remaster, not a reboot, but a remaster. So also there is a Dead Space reboot coming that I'm very.
I thought that was a remaster.
Yeah, it's a remaster, not a reboot. Excuse me. Get my terminology right, but it looks intriguing.
That's the only game that's like I had to take breaks from because it was so like made me so tense and scared. But.
It absolutely was. That was one of those games that like I saved 1,000 times. So I would walk in the room like, okay, they're gonna jump out from here, here, and here, redo the save. Then I'm like aiming at the grading. Even then,
and
I still
get you
jump
from somewhere
at it.
else.
Yeah, but even then, I still jumped if I knew where they were coming from. But I enjoyed that game immensely. The whole series was amazing. So I'm looking forward to that.
I just played the first one.
I played Splitgate, which is a free to play.
Yeah, Splitgate. Woo!
I like that game because it feels so level. Like you don't care how good you are, you're not going to have any better guns. The game mode is completely, whatever game mode it is what it is. And like you're not going to be but so much better than everybody else. Like I've had games where I just absolutely like was the number one person, which is like, oh wow, I was like and then there's games where I'm like the last, but it's just the way I like the way that game is balanced.
Yeah, that game's really well done.
And it's quick. It's one of those games that like I can jump into, play a couple of games, and like okay, and then
feel
get
like
out.
I've done something.
Yeah, it was funny how that game just blew up out of nowhere there for a little bit.
And it's really simplistic if you think about it.
But it was just, it's Halo and Portal. So I mean, but they were even like, we don't understand why we're so popular right now. Please bear with us. We're a team of like 15 people, and we're trying to keep our servers from exploding. So
and they were nice enough. They did like holiday events, like did the Spookoween.
Yeah,
like it was just fun that they actually did that. I liked the events that they did, like in Call of Duty Cold War. Like they did the Christmas event, the Halloween event was so much fun.
Yeah,
that Cold War is hands down the best Call of Duty game I've played in years, and they had the best DLC, the best season passes because it gave you other things, other soundtracks, cosmetics, guns, like everything that you could touch. Vanguard, I've been playing Vanguard, huge disappointment, but I don't know why I expected any more. Because when you go back to the World War series, I'm like, how many times do we have to do this? It's the exact same thing, it's the exact same guns, and all of that. Like I got the season pass, I'm like, all it is a dog tag. Woohoo! I got a dog tag. Yay! I'm like, there's an emblem. Yay! Like there's nothing fun to get. There's nothing fun to do with it. And even I'm trying to give. I'm a zombies fan. Try to give. It's very simple, very not much to it. Kind of. I mean, like once we figured it out, it's like, oh, it's trying to jump onto Outbreak. It's like, but we're trying to not be Outbreak. Like Outbreak is great. Outbreak could be even better if they had made an Outbreak mode on this game, but they decided not to. They're trying to make a round-based game with objectives. And people are mad because it's like, well, either do one or the other. Either do the round-based zombies that everybody knows and loves, or do the objectives. Don't try to do both. And it's just, again, very simplistic, very repetitive. So, and there's no pause at all. And if you go idle for more than 10 seconds, it will boot you.
10 seconds?
So God forbid.
He's a little exaggerated.
Okay, maybe a little bit exaggerated.
He
but
ran to...
3 times I've had to go to the pee. I had to go pee.
And he got kicked out.
By the time I went to, stood up, went to go pee, came back, I got kicked. Like, it literally was that long. And it's happened, like, more than once. Like, there's and there's no way to pause. So you have to, like, lay the controller down on the sofa.
That's where you get the, like, rubber band and you just have
exactly.
thumbsticks spin you in circles.
I'm like, watch my character chasing anybody zombies.
I'm like trying to push his character and see if I can get it to move or something. And then right when he's coming back, I can hear him in the background. He's like, I'm coming. And then his character just blips out.
Disappears.
And I'm like, too late. Like,
Take
there's
your controller
nothing.
with you to set it right beside you.
Well, we didn't know at first that you couldn't. Like, you know, it wasn't until we were in the middle of a game and he's like, hey, I'll be right back. And then he's gone. I'm like, where the freak are you
Cold
going?
War had realm-based zombies that were really good, had Easter egg, like classic zombies. And then you had Outbreak mode, which is still to this day, it's like huge. You can, like, the maps are absolutely insane. The objectives are open world zombies. It's amazing. I love it. But once they stopped support for it, it's like, you know, oh, Vanguard's out. I'm like, such a waste. I'm like, give another year to that. And that's what I hate about Call of Duty. It's like, after that, as good as Cold War was, I'm like, it's gone.
It only has a shelf life of a year.
Yeah. And that's the problem. It's like, okay, we got it. Comes out what? Is it September, November?
November.
So it comes out in November. You get it for Christmas. You start playing in January. Okay, well, by the time November hits, like, you got less than a year to play it. And it's sad because, like, Torch plays it now. And he just got it. So we kind of connected back with him. It's funny because he joined our party one year, like, after, like, 2 years. It's like, hey, how's it going? Like, hey, playing Cold War, are you? I'm like, all right, well, I'll jump in and play some Cold War. But it's like, it sucks now because it's like, oh, like we know, I'm not bragging, but I'm like, we know quite a bit about it. Like, there's nothing left to explore, or it's just okay, how long you want to go? Like, how far can we go? Like, we know exactly, like, what guns we want, when we want to get them, and then how to get them as the best chance to get them. And it's just like, it's not as much fun anymore as it was. And that's why I hate about Call of Duty, which I heard rumored that they weren't going to release one this year.
This year they're releasing one. Modern Warfare 2 is being released. 2023's version they're not going to release.
Okay.
Because that's when, perfect segue, is when Microsoft will own Call of Duty. Because Microsoft bought Activision and Blizzard for $68.7 billion.
Yeah, nothing.
It's a little bit of money. But as they were saying, that would bring Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and randomly Candy Crush are all now Microsoft owns them all. So now they're all first-party titles, which, as apparently they're saying that the Call of Duty they're still planning to bring to PlayStation as of now.
I think they said that, yeah.
But it'll still be on Game Pass. So now Call of Duty is going to be on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one reason. Like, the one game I did go back to was Destiny 2 for a little while, because Beyond Light and then the one before that, the expansion, were on there. So I was like, it's on Game Pass, and I'm like, I had an affinity for Destiny 2 for
just
a little
bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it didn't take. It was fun because there was a lot of single player content I hadn't gotten to yet. So yeah, it was fun. But the same problem still remains. If you don't have 3 people, or 6 if you want to raid, that want to play with you, it's just not nearly as fun. And I mean, I enjoyed it, and I've heard great things about the new DLC that came out. Well, not DLC technically, the next chapter. Whatever. It's like the Witch Queen, and it's supposed to be really good. And I'm like, I'm sure it is. But I'm like, again, Bungie's problem is, hey, we're going to stick with this and the same formula. I'm like, at least with Extraction being a PvE, it's scaled and it's doable. Like, we might take a little while to do it, but it's fun because even if we want to upgrade it, like, to the next level of difficulty, at least I know the objectives have been scaled down. It's not impossible. Like, it might feel like impossible to us, like, when we're doing it, but at least they're giving us an actual chance. Whereas, like, Destiny's just like, well, screw you if you don't have people that like you.
Yeah. But back to them acquiring Activision and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, what was your initial reaction when you heard that news?
Surprise. Just kind of came out of nowhere.
Much.
I was not expecting that.
And then you look at the price, like, oh, that's a lot of money. But I think Microsoft is like over $2 trillion market cap company right now, so it's...
Yeah, they just sat there and used whatever money they had, kind of thing. Like, oh, yeah, we'll buy that. But apparently, on all that scandal and stuff came out with Activision, with their boss and everything, like all the allegations and everything. He said apparently Microsoft went into talks with them like 3 days later. Like, hey, you're going through some problems.
We can help you out.
Do you want to fight that? Or do you want to sell to us? And we'll take it on. And they went, how much you want to give us? $68.7 billion.
Sold.
We're out. The same thing. I was shocked and surprised when it was like, what did I just read? And
it's like you read a couple times, like, is this real?
And it was one of those, then you start going, all right, this is really funny. And the fact of like now Crash Bandicoot is technically owned by Microsoft.
I thought about that.
Which is usually a PlayStation branded thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, nope, Crash is now Xbox.
Yeah.
And like once, so Microsoft, like it doesn't go through until like a year from now, basically.
It's a lot of paperwork to go through.
So in 2023, they will own them. And so then that's when they'll start bringing all their titles and everything will start coming to Game Pass. So that's going to be interesting to see if like they do that with World of Warcraft. Like that's still a subscription-based thing, but if you have Game Pass, can you just, as a part of Game Pass, now you have World of Warcraft as part of your subscription account?
Mm-hmm.
I would assume so.
Yeah. And just maybe
Unless
charge
there's a new Game
for...
Pass Super Ultimate Mega.
Yep.
That has these now.
Well, the thing that's surprising about Game Pass, I'm surprised the price hasn't gone up in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix just hit $20 for if you have like 4K.
Oh,
Well,
you
if
have
you
4K.
have, like, 4K
yeah,
stuff.
I don't have 4K and stuff. But the that's the other thing with that is it'll be interesting to see how it goes and plays out. But
Mm-hmm.
it'd be fun. I think like everything come to Game Pass. Oh, that's the other thing. I'm talking about like subscription-based services and stuff. Was like when EA Play came to Xbox or came to Game Pass. I was like, oh, cool. Now we can play these EA games.
Yeah, we can play Anthem.
Yeah. And then there's rumors that Ubisoft is going to come to Game Pass.
Didn't?
Some Ubisoft titles are there, but not all of Uplay
okay.
is there yet. Which when they bring Uplay, if they bring Uplay, then that's all of Assassin's Creed. So that's all of the other everything that Uplay has. Ubisoft has.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd
Far
be,
Cry's.
So
yeah.
Far Cry.
That would just bring. That's gonna be crazy. All right, so that was cool. It was interesting news, but we'll see how if it actually plays out in a year and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like the idea of like when, at least for Call of Duty, like if Warzone's still a thing, we're still kind of playing Warzone. They still have to buy Call of Duty's multiplayer game now to level up a gun and just download it through Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the one of the things I really didn't like about Call of Duty and Warzone. You have to buy the game to get the other gun for the
There's some
thing.
games if you want to like level up stuff, like it's way easier to do it in multiplayer.
Yeah.
And then last thing from super fan of ours, Tasha Pettengill, aka Zoom Demon. Her question to us is, what video game world would you choose to live in? Is there a video game world you would choose to live in?
First thing I thought of was Cyberpunk because it's like the future. And if I want to like replace my arm with something cool and not have to worry about like I could have like a robotic leg right now, but I don't know. There's something about just this future, bunch of neon. Just I don't know. I just really like the cyberpunk aesthetic, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of those where I was like, video game world. I started thinking of things and I was like, your first reaction is like world, like I'm thinking like modern day, so I'm thinking like Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, I don't want to be some pedestrian just run over by a car.
Exactly,
I'm like, no, I'm not going to be that.
Can we talk about how crappy that remake was?
The trilogy.
The trilogy.
Oh yeah. I did play that too.
Oh, how broken it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty broke.
I heard about it.
It was still kind of fun. I mean, it's always fun running around. Like it was funny how much I was remembering like where turns were, and being like, right over here should be this car. There it is. All right. But yeah, so it was. I don't know what world I live in.
I think of that or something like Elder Scrolls. Something like just be like a farmer out in Elder Scrolls or whatever.
Then all of a sudden get attacked by a dragon.
Hopefully not, but but that's the thing with like any video game world is like there's some sort of
Yeah, so I'm
huge
thinking like
threat.
Halo, but it's like, am I going to be like one of the inner world like ring planets where everything's like good, and I'm like on like the good planets, or am I like
worried about the
outer
Covenant
world and I got to worry about the Covenant showing up and
Yeah.
all this other stuff and everything? So I'll still say Halo because maybe I'll be in like, as long as I'm in like one of the good planets. Not in the slum planets, like,
Yeah.
which is why the Spartans were originally created. But any idea?
Destiny Islands. from
Oh, that's a
Kingdom
good one.
Hearts.
That's
Oh, there
a
you
good
go.
one.
Okay. And Chris?
Kingdom Hearts is
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts, the best game series ever, and Destiny Islands is where you start.
Give me
but that's
Stardew
literally
Valley. I'll just go be a farmer.
there. That's a good. Yeah, I'll do Stardew Valley. Yeah, sit around
Midgar.
farm all day.
The slums of
and,
Midgar.
and then the plates are going to crash down on you, and you're going to get squished.
That's exactly
That's
it.
really all you could think of.
That's a really Stardew Valley is like a really good answer because you just farm.
That's just farming.
Go to town.
I'll go be in the.
chit-chat.
I'll go in PC simulator, PC
Yeah.
building simulator, lawnmower
Destiny
simulator.
Islands is
Yeah.
And Destiny Islands was a good one. I'm thinking Goat Simulator. It's like,
I did play lawnmower simulator. I did that too.
How is it?
It's
How are the grass
It's-
cutting physics in
yeah,
that game?
it's pretty good actually. Yeah. Yeah.
I hate mowing the grass.
Yeah. Something fun about digitally though. I don't know what to tell you. All right, so I think that's,
That's all
it.
you could come up with was Midgar.
I know that's
You're
a,
going to get
that's
squished in.
that's too deep of a question to just spring on us.
Sorry. Okay. Well, we might save it for next time. We'll see if we come up with a better answer. I'll probably forget that by now.
Just
By
those
next time.
thought-provoking questions we need to have ahead of
Yeah.
time.
I was just trying to find something because we had no idea what the heck we were going to talk about. But we have basically hit an hour.
I was getting ready to say, I know we got to be at the hour mark.
We're close. It's close enough. So on that note, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. And we're out of here. You can follow us on YouTube. It's VAHOMA Podcast. Hopefully that's where you're finding this. I got to remember to do the audio breakout to put that on the Podbean stuff and everything. I might have forgotten to do that last time. I'm on Twitch at Annihilator Method. Andrew is...
I mean, I'm on.
He's
Twitch,
around.
but
He does
I
stuff.
don't tweet.
We really don't do interaction with social media like we should. You can follow my
Right.
TikTok. I have some TikToks on there too. Annihilator Method on there too. I try and have the name as large as I could.
The brand.
Still don't have it on Twitter because somebody had to yoink it from me like 10 years ago. Stupid
Wait,
fans.
the way that they. Oh,
yeah, the way I
really?
spell it and stuff. Yeah, I definitely
Oh.
wasn't thinking branding at the time like I should be. That was a mistake. So, anyways, thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.